by exposing the shallowness and the hollowness of what's going on in the right-wing argument, right? The scapegoating of immigrants, the fact that it all will circle back to aid the 1% and not the working class, right? All of these.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Kulinski in the Vanguard exposing, roasting, putting their thing down, flip it and reversing Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is out here just constantly selling out to the right, and they're wanting to call it out. I'm giving my commentary as well. Let's watch.
I was talking to Griffin the other day. Tim Dillon, Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis, all these guys that are big-time comedians that are on the up and up, they all latched themselves onto Trump and Trumpism. People like Russell Brand, who had no other options, latched themselves onto Trump and Trumpism. Your career circling the drain, like Hulk Hogan, latch onto Trump and Trumpism, right? All the richest people in the world are about to save a fortune, right? And they put their money where their mouth was. They started, Elon Musk went on stage and jumped for joy. It's crazy.
Yeah, except for Taylor Swift. Shout out to Taylor. But I totally agree. And I think that is what it comes down to, Zach, because of the fact that almost everyone in this country is a low information voter that is really going on vibes, not policy, as much as it breaks our heart. We have to adjust to that. And obviously, we're going to still have substantive policy conversations. I'm not saying that we're going to not talk about policy on the show, and I'm not saying that it isn't the number one most important thing, when obviously it clearly is. That's what this is all ultimately about. But yeah, what it comes down to is that we need to make the left cool again. That is what it is. And I think that it's a real sign of the topsy-turvy, crazy, upside-down world that we're living in, that someone like Joe Rogan, and not just Joe, but this whole sphere of like pot-smoking comedians. Why are these people on the right? Why is the pot-smoking comedian crowd all of a sudden on the Republican side? That's upside down. That's not how it should be. The left is the side that smokes weed. It's us. We're the ones who are funny. We're the ones that like drugs. We're the ones that are pro-sex. We're the ones that are the hippies. We can't abide this. We can't abide this. We cannot abide this cultural shift. We cannot let the Republican people, the right-wingers, we cannot let them claim the mantle of being cool. We cannot let them pretend to be more anti-war than we are. That's another big thing. A lot of Republicans have successfully seduced the American people to their side by tricking them into thinking we're the anti-war side. Like they're the new fucking hippies somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't hurt when Dick Cheney and his daughter are out with the Democrats.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
And yeah, I agree with the Vanguard right now. They don't really have anyone on the left who is appealing to the younger audience. Yet a lot of these younger, like the Gen Zs, they were growing up. They were just finishing high school, I believe, whenever COVID was going on. And they don't, they may not be that well thought out to see, what was going on. What are the grander implications of COVID or what was going on? They sort of felt like they were being told what to do, a lot, as well as a lot of these other like low information voters. So they saw, Joe Rogan, and they see all these people as like that are anti-vax or whatever the crap is. It's like, oh, they see them as the rebellion. They see them as the ones. And then you have Joe Rogan backing Donald Trump, who really just says whatever is on his mind and comes across as, he doesn't really actually say whatever is on his mind. It's all thought out and very methodical as well. But he comes across as this, maverick type of character. And yeah, it appeals to the younger people. So we don't really have anyone who appeals to the young liberals or just young people in general. And right now, a lot of the older liberals have been lost. They've sort of gotten lost due to Bernie Sanders going for Hillary Clinton. You lost a lot of people that were voting liberal because Bernie Sanders started to back Hillary Clinton back in 2016, and you haven't really gotten anything back since then.
The Democratic Party allowed the Republican Party to claim the mantle of counterculture. All of a sudden, Republicans are weed-smoking, anti-war hippies listening to the Grateful Dead. What is happening? No, we have to return to counterculture as a left. And I'm not talking about super edgy bullshit that turns people off. I'm not talking about, handing out Trotsky pamphlets to people. No, none of that bullshit. I'm talking about re-embracing genuine counterculture, because right now the fucking Tim Dillons and the Joe Rogans and all of these Gen X millionaires, all of these fucking lame losers have somehow stolen away that mantle from us. And I swear to God, is imperative that we take it back from them. We cannot be the side of Liz Cheney. We cannot be the side of fucking San Francisco, Silicon Valley bullshit. No, this cannot be abided.
Yeah, this aggression will not stand, man.
Christ. So, like, you didn't consider policy at all? Just, oh, Trump's real because he went on a podcast. Kamala's not because you didn't go on that podcast. Like, oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. So did he have an impact on the election? Look, I think he probably did. I think he did. And you also got to call a spade, that interview that Rogan did with him was a hot stone massage, right? He didn't ask any serious questions about policy, about his crimes, none of it. So you sit there and play patty cakes with the guy for 3 hours, and oh, would you look at that? You humanized him. That's the exact thing Rogan said years before when he was asked if he'd interview Trump. That's the exact thing he said. I worry about that. I don't want to humanize him because I don't know all the ins and outs of the allegations of the corruption against him and the war crimes he did and all the problems, and I'm not the guy. I don't have the tools. Well, Joe.
And I think that also signifies a cultural shift, Gavin, especially from 2016 to 2024. The amount of cultural disdain directed at Donald Trump fell off a cliff, right? And you and I, or at least I'll speak for myself, I thought, oh, that's a signal of a weakness for Trump. That's a sign of him not having the riz and not having the punch and power that he had in 2016, right? He doesn't have Hillary Clinton as his foil to make all of his same lines against. He's not as, incendiary, it seems.
And again, Donald Trump just propped it up. We all know, he wants to come across as just saying whatever is on his mind, but it's all very, very tactical. He's going to say that that the election was stolen, that all of these things happened, that these things happened to him. He's playing the underdog card. This is what, the people love. People love an underdog story. This is not, if he can come across as fighting the bad guys, if he can align himself with an Alex Jones type of person, he's memeing. He's completely just like becoming a meme. Donald Trump he knows exactly what he's doing. He is tuned in to this postmodern structure that we're all playing a part of. So he knows exactly how to talk to the system as a whole. He knows what works, and it's very clearly obvious that the Democratic Party is either still learning how to fully use that, or if they are wanting to come across from an actual good and not just wanting to manipulate the masses, well, I think they still have a lot of figuring out to do.
The media is not constantly covering stories about him like they were in 2016. A lot more people are just less taken aback and offended by him. That actually really helped him. That laundering of his reputation, that making him just seem like more of a regular guy who's just a little rough around the edges. All of that effort from guys like Elon Musk, from guys like Patrick Bet-David, the comedians you laid out, Gavin, Joe Rogan himself, to launder his reputation and make him seem like just a likable guy that was really misunderstood and targeted by the media. And aren't there people like your favorite comedians that have been targeted by the media? Remember when Dave Chappelle was targeted by the media? Oh yeah, when you really get to know the guy, when he really sits down with him, he's a great guy. Donnie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't you think that's another reason? Like, again, I hate to say it, I don't want to sound like one of these people, but don't you think that the left totally needs to abandon any semblance of moralizing? Don't you think that needs to go out the window? Because I do. I think we're at the point where the backlash against it is real, and we do have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
I think against regular people for sure, right? I'm not going to stop dunking on Anna Kasparian when she makes stupid positions from under the banner of the Young Turks Progressives, but I do think that when it comes to audiences, when it comes to reaching out to regular folks, yeah, we do. So I think, honestly, I'm going to revert back to the Michael Brooks strategy, right? I tweeted out this clip of Michael Brooks the other day where he was actually talking to Anna Kasparian, and I want to say it was the first time they ever spoke on air together. And she said, she thanked him for being willing to call out and roast and lampoon Dave Rubin, and that it was important to her to be the bigger person. And he was like, no, the Michael Brooks show is not a bigger person show, right? The Vanguard Pod is not a bigger person show, right? We're happy to lampoon, dunk on, and go after other commentators, right? But what we can't do is write off their audiences. And that's what Michael Brooks understood. He understood that their audience was up for the grabs, even if they were a lost cause. So you have to embolden yourself. You have to elevate your own cause by exposing the shallowness and the hollowness of what's going on in the right-wing argument, right? The scapegoating of immigrants, the fact that it all will circle back to aid the 1% and not the working class, right? All of these different kinds of things. So I agree with you that the pearl clutching, the purity testing, all of that shit, like, we can't use it as a way of like gaining new supporters, right? But I also think that it does have a place when it comes to media critique, because you're going to see a lot of people flock to the right as a way of making even more money for themselves.
I mean, what do you in media critique? Like, I don't think that. Like, I'm not talking about what we do.
So there we have it, you guys. We have Joe Rogan getting exposed for, wanting to appear with this facade of counterculture, this facade of, oh yeah, I'm against the system, man. Yeah, dude, we want exactly what you guys want. We're for the people, man. And it's like, okay, for sure. Let's do all this. Let's watch people get, deported for speaking their minds against free. Let's completely forget about free speech. Let's cut all the taxes for the rich, man. This is what we're, let's make it to where we can't afford crap in the next few weeks by raising all these tariffs. That's a good idea, right? Let's do it by making the entire world hate us. That's the way that we're for the people, right? Give me a break. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.